All right, chat. Well, you know what's going on today. We've got a very special guest coming on stream. Are you ready? Oh, I'm putting on the big screen. Woohoo! In 3, 2, and 1. Yay!
Wow. Dabs, dabs, dabs. Hello, hello, everyone.
Yay! What's up? Hey, when you were dabbing, I was
But
doing
no one
it
could
too.
see it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like out of habit. I was like, oh, I gotta dab with you. Chat.
Yeah, we all got a dab. Dabs in
Type in
chat.
type in exclamation mark guest and you will
exclamation mark dab. Not exclamation mark dab. That's a little baby. Maybe we don't need that many chat commands, but
I agree. Okay, so how are you doing? You're on here. This is the second time you're here with Edit My Photos.
yeah. I don't remember the date of the first one, but I think it's been about a year. Hasn't
I
it?
believe so. You were one of the first.
I don't remember when the original one was, and I feel like I should, but I don't. So, yeah, it's been about a year. A lot has happened in the past year, hasn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it has. I was prepped. What's up, Elijah? Good to see you. Flo thinks your frog is high. He's zooted. Your frog is zooted.
Let chat be the judge.
Yeah, we go way freaking back. I was prepping your video so I could get it edited and finally get it edited because I just been sitting on them and there was no sound. Your voice was just not there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was such a noob. So I was like, we freaking have to redo this.
Oh yeah.
But my whole overlay setup and everything was like so janky and just like, ugh. I mean, like, I don't despise it, you know, but it was just like, man, my overlays were so weak.
It was. If you think that was scuffed, like,
that's the word.
This is what I've got. I have you can't see him, but I got a Psyduck in the back. He's just vibing.
Yeah.
But if you think what you had was scuffed, I mean, this is what most of the rest of us are dealing with as far as setups go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was moments where I wasn't even in the shot. It was just all over the place. But also the photos that we exchanged where I feel like on a different level to where they are now. And like you said, like after a year, I was looking back on the edits that I did for your RAWs and I was like, I feel like I edited your photos this time around much better than I did last year. And it probably is because I learned a lot from you guys and all that stuff. And I don't know, how do you feel your photography, like the photos that you sent me today or this week versus like before? I mean, obviously we're in the middle of COVID last year, so we couldn't get some new stuff because I think some of the images you sent me were kind of older stuff, but
yeah, I'm trying to remember what I sent you the first time because I don't even know that I remember
that
exactly
Indian
which
wedding
photos that I sent.
The
Yes,
reception
okay.
of like that purple reception, and then it was, I want to say a model or something with,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So I would definitely say that things have changed quite a bit since then, especially since I have had, like, I've met up a few times with Midnight Rush and we've shot some stuff and we've done a lot of things there. And I've also learned a lot from Twitch, from retouching and watching a bunch, like all you guys and how everyone in the photography team does their editing and kind of picking and choosing stuff from how everybody else does their stuff. Because before COVID, I don't think I really went out of my way to try and really find new ways to do things, or I felt like it was hard to figure out how to level up your work. There is so much information on the internet, and there's so much, like if you just Google how to improve your photography, you're going to get 5,000 different things.
Jeez,
and it's hard to know, what to improve when you don't know what's really improvable in what you're doing, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's hard to like look at your own work sometimes and think, what can I do better? Because in the moment, you think what you're doing is the best that you should be doing, or like what you're doing in the moment is what you feel like you should be doing. So it's like, well, if I'm already doing what I think I should be doing, how do I figure out what I'm doing wrong? So, or like not wrong, but like how I could do things differently so that I feel like I get a better result or like a leveled up result.
Yeah.
And so having like the one-on-one with the community and being able to share stuff and get input directly from other photographers and different perspectives really is a good way to kind of improve your work in a more personal way than just trying to get on the wild west of the internet and figure out what applies or what doesn't apply.
Yeah, that's, man, we got to talk more about that today. I think that's really good, especially like there's so much out there as far as like how to improve your content, this and that, and like being able to sift through that. And like you just said, you got to meet up with like Midnight Rush and other photographers. And did you like, how was that experience? Did you like learn a lot even just from being with them like during that time?
Yeah, I think some of it, I think there's two aspects to it. One of it is seeing how someone else works and kind of the differences in how people shoot on set. And I think part of the other thing that's important about photography is I call it kind of the reassurance that other people do things similar to you, and that kind of reaffirms that, okay, this is a common thing, you know, maybe I'm on the right path of how to do things in seeing the way that other people do things. Shooting on set with Midnight Rush is, one, it's fun, and two, he harasses me about things that I like kind of was already aware of. Yeah. Particularly, it's always really tiny stuff that can elevate your work. So paying a lot of attention to like the very edges of your frames, seeing, like taking the time and stopping and looking at what you're photographing
this
in
isn't
the whole
even
scene.
That's not even post. That's like in camera. That's in the moment as you're shooting. Yeah, because I am a very run and gun shooter. I like to feel like I'm always doing something, because I feel like when I take downtime or when I slow down, I feel like it gives the impression that I don't know what I'm doing, because I am stopping to think about exactly what I'm doing and where I'm putting people and what's in the background and all that stuff. But actually stopping and looking at the scene, looking what's in the background, what's at the edges of your frames. Is the light this way the best light? Should I rotate them 180 degrees this way? Should I move them 6 feet down or whatever on set? Like that kind of thing is important to stop and think about. And the more you kind of consciously think about it, I think the better you get at it. And True Vision's asking how long I've been shooting for. So I technically picked up a camera when I was like 11 or 12. I shot 35 millimeter film, and then I picked up a medium format film camera when I was like 14. Yeah. That was the Mamiya RB67. And I had that for I had that until like 2 years ago. So I've been shooting for a long time, but I think in doing that, it's easy to get comfortable, and it's easy to think that you are so
used to shooting that you go fast and you're like, well, I know that this is the right thing, and actually taking a step back, even if you're this experienced and have been doing it for this long, consciously thinking about what you're doing is something that's important for everyone to do, no matter how long you've been doing photography and how natural it feels. And understanding why, even if you just do something because it feels right and you're not consciously thinking about it, taking a step back and going, why is that what I chose to do? Even if I didn't think about it at the moment, you know, did I like the lighting better here? Did I like the background, even though I wasn't actually thinking about, oh, this spot is better for a background than this spot. You kind of go into autopilot when you've been doing it for so long. So recognizing the habits that you have and why you have those habits, and recognizing that you do those things because of XYZ subconsciously is something that you should always be doing.
It's good stuff.
That was a really long ramble.
That was. Did you wait? So did you? That was just Tony's question, and Connolly followed up with what inspires you the most when it comes to your photography?
That's really hard. I think just people. I don't think that there's any one thing other than the people that I meet, and I really enjoy helping people see that being photographed is not scary.
Yeah, that's
I think
that's
a lot
good.
of people, like a lot of people get in their heads about, well, I want to look a certain way in pictures. And I think a lot of people get trapped in the idea of, I want to look the best I've ever looked in my life in these pictures. And
do people actually say that to you? Like, I want to look the best I've ever looked in my life?
I don't think I've ever had anyone say that to me explicitly, but having been photographed and thinking that myself, and knowing that, especially when people ramp up to photo shoots when they're not like a model, or they're not used to being photographed.
Yeah.
So many people think, you know, I want my appearance to be like as good as it's gonna get, and helping people understand that there is no wrong way to look, and that the way that you are as a human being is okay and beautiful, and you as a person do not have to try and look a certain way to feel like you are worth being photographed.
Follow-up question: where did you gain your inspiration for each shoot?
It kind of depends on what it's for. If it's a personal project, I typically get a lot of inspiration from, it sounds really weird, like music videos, like things that are very, cinematography based. So like videos, like show clips, sometimes like where there's scenes in a show. For personal work, I tend to get a lot of inspiration from that kind of thing.
Yeah.
For client work, it's usually more about what the client wants, right? So anything that they can give me. If they already have a vision, then I usually go with that. If they are like, well, I have this outfit, you know, what do we think would look good with this outfit? Then we kind of go from there. But for personal work, I get a ton of inspiration from like music videos and from other photographers who do like fashion work and editorial work and stuff.
Good stuff. I was able to. Oh, sorry. Let me pull that back. I've yet to really do any type of like shoots kind of like how you do. You know, like everything that I do is more like wedding photography, you know, centered and around that, and not really like styled, you know. And maybe I just haven't explored that space yet, because I always feel like wedding photography is simple, you know, just
right.
You know, they're you know, if it's an engagement shoot, they're wearing, you know, I guess nice clothes, or, you know, I don't know, just like super simple, like clothes and then just showing their affection towards one another. And then if it's a wedding, they're in their wedding dress and stuff, tuxedo,
Right.
and again showing affection towards one another. So like, I do want to get into a bit more like styled and purposed shoots, you know, rather than just show up in like a, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it's so different, and like I do want to elevate my stuff, but there's also like styled shoots that I've been seeing come up a lot, and there's a lot of I don't know if you guys remember, but my second shooter, Kyla, she models for a lot of these elopement photographers that come to Maui and set up these styled shoots, and they're gorgeous. But in a way, I have this like sarcastic thought in my mind, like these elopement photographers are kind of catfishing their clients in a way. But it's like, because it's like, you don't have time to freaking set up a gorgeous picnic like that unless you have the money for it for a wedding, you know, you have like the reception, but I don't know, it's different because it is a styled shoot that I'm sure they would like set up after their wedding or whatever. But the type of work that I do, I guess, is more event photography than like a photo shoot. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that it's two very different sides of a card, because with a wedding or with a client, really, you're kind of most of the time you're handed everything that's going to come to you on a platter, right? Like the wedding is what it is. You know, you're not telling the bride and groom like, well, you know, you should do this or this or this. Typically you have some flexibility with like the bride and groom portraits, but you don't have a ton of flexibility with everything overall. Styled shoots is really kind of what I started doing. Like back in high school, I would like bug my friends and be like, hey, can we do like some weird makeup and go like in the woods somewhere and just like take pictures? And it's so funny looking back that for me, it really is like a creative thing. I really love all aspects of styled shoots. I love coming up with set concepts, makeup concepts, hair concepts, styling. Because I remember when I was younger, I wanted to do something art related, but I didn't know what. I loved theater. I loved makeup. I loved hair. I was like, do I want to go into cosmetology and do hair and makeup? Do I want to go into theater production? Do I want to go into filming? I felt like I was pulled in every different direction, because there's none of it is ever really guaranteed to be a super strong career path in not so few of words. So as a kid, it's like, well, all of these creative fields are kind of a gamble. But photography was something that I was already doing. So I was like, well, I'm just going to kind of stick with that. And I can bring in other elements of what I like to do while doing photography, like with retouching and stuff like that. And financing styled shoots is definitely a huge part of it.
I always wonder how much it costs.
It depends. When I was in high school, I would just make stuff. Like I would go to the craft store and buy like hot glue and cheap fabric, and like I just made it work. And I would like sculpt stuff out of like styrofoam and spray paint it for props. And a lot of photographers do that. A lot of professional kind of editorial photographers in the background make these kind of like hacksawed props. Not everything has to be super fancy, super expensive. You can make it work and fake it till you make it. But when it comes to bigger productions, it is definitely kind of hard to find any kind of budget for renting a space or buying like props that you can't really make yourself. So it is hard. And I've always, any styled shoot that I've really done, I've paid for it myself most of the time. So it is kind of a luxury to be able to do that kind of stuff.
speaking of which, let's go back down memory lane. I've got your first photos from the Edit My Photos,
Oh.
and I believe one of them is from that what do we call it, styled shoot.
Let me see. Which one was it? Yeah, so on the left, it wasn't really a styled shoot, but it was like kind of a creative shoot where I just reached out to a friend and I was like, hey, I think this was right after I got the R. I was like, hey, I got a new camera. You want to go out and just
The
like
US
take some
R.
pics? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Canon gang.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was kind of right after I did that. And she just showed up in whatever she had, did her makeup, and we just walked around a park and took some shots. And sometimes it's just as simple as that.
Yeah. These other two images being the actual weddings, you know, in the moment events kind of thing. Yeah, these came out really good. Let me show off the raws or the edits that you did, chat. So to clarify, these are the first images that the Allimo sent me for her first time on Edit My Photos. So this was her edit right here, and this is where I first learned about like being aware of the ability to fill in gaps with flowers. That was one thing I learned from you, I think, which is really cool.
Oh, well, that's so sweet. Yeah, that was something that I think I even kind of picked up from the team. Is going kind of above and beyond what's in the scene to kind of expand and make it more, what's the word I'm looking for? Fantastical?
Yeah. Fantastical.
I can't think of the word, but that'll do. You get what I'm saying.
That'll do. That'll do. Okay.
That'll do.
Okay. Yasmin wants to know, what was it like shooting that Indian wedding?
So that is a very dear friend of mine. I actually did not photograph the wedding day.
Okay.
I photographed, I think, 3 or 4 days of the pre-events, and I apologize that I don't know the names of the ceremonies or anything like that, but it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of work for sure. Just because there's so many days, and this was the middle of June, and it was 1,000,000 degrees outside, and the wedding was outside in their backyard, and it was so hot. And I actually I helped live stream it because they had family in India that couldn't come. So I live streamed it with the R, and it was, oh my gosh, I thought my laptop was gonna melt. It was, I had to ask their neighbor for their patio furniture to get an umbrella so that I was in the shade with my camera and my laptop. My laptop at one point did shut down because it was so hot.
Wow.
And I thought it was gonna burn me because it has like a metal casing. It's not a plastic casing laptop. It's kind of like the same, I don't know what MacBooks are made out of, but it's that material.
Aluminium.
Aluminium. Yeah, it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. The family was wonderful, and seeing like how many people get involved is really awesome.
Yeah. I remember this one too, because you said her father shoots Nikon, and because I asked about the yellow walls, and I'm like, this is a Nikon house, and you're like, fun thing, her dad shoots with right?
Yes, her dad shoots with a Nikon, and so it is technically a Nikon house.
Yes,
the house of Nikon.
Yeah, so good. I was just like going through, and I'm like, wow, these are good times back in the day. Yeah.
What a throwback, yeah.
I'm gonna prep up the other photos though, and let's see here. Let me find them. We'll start with your images. Your images were banging. They were so good.
Yours were too. Yours are like, these photos were so good.
Thank you so much.
I follow, there's some social media celebrities, I guess you could call influencers that I follow that live in Hawaii, and every single time I see them post like pictures of Hawaii and see you post pictures of Hawaii, I'm like, how expensive is it to move to Hawaii? Can I move to Hawaii? I just get so jealous every time because it's so beautiful there.
Oh man, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is so beautiful, but low key, there's man, maybe should I bring this up? I don't know. That's a good topic of discussion about influencers moving to Hawaii. There hasn't been a problem before, but lately I've been seeing some things. There was a video that my friend made, and you know how like TikToks and Reels, they do all like the those like the music. This one was the Bruno Mars, like da na na out there somewhere far away. I want you know that one. Da 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 da. And so it was this super like popular girl who moved to Kauai, and she's like 4 months ago I moved to Hawaii. This is how it's been going so far, and it's just like boom boom boom, just sick images. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, where there's the video of the woman who moved to Hawaii and is like, everything is beautiful and amazing and this is like the fabulous life, and then it's juxtaposed against like the reality of a lot of people who live in Hawaii, especially indigenous Hawaiians.
So that's my best friend's wife who made that video.
Like, oh, seriously?
And she's like,
that's
she's
amazing.
not a viral person. I mean, so she's like started this like whole like clean living, clean mama, like non-GMO kind of like profile, you know, and she grew up going to Kamehameha schools, which is like for indigenous people. Like you're there from like preschool all the way to 12th grade with the same people, and so you gotta have like Hawaiian blood to get in, all this stuff. And so so she just made this, and she's like very passionate about it. And so I mean, I was like, when it would hit like 200,000 views, I was like, you watch, it's gonna hit 1 million. And then it hit 1 million. I was like, it's gonna hit 2. It hit 2 million, but it got removed and like all this stuff. But it struck a chord with people, and it wasn't necessarily like, you know, against influencers that move here, but it's just like, man, it's just it's man, I don't know how to explain it. For me, because I'm not really in the middle. I guess I'm someone who's moved here too, you know, but I've kind of come in a way where like I kind of like rub shoulders with like the people here and like work with them, and I've worked in like social services and stuff, and my goal wasn't to come here to like pursue that like lifestyle. It was just to help the people, and then now I'm doing photography. So I kind of see both sides of it, because if you came here, Allimo, to pursue an amazing life out here in Hawaii, you'll get it, you know, and I've got no judgments towards you for that, you know. But yeah, it's just hard because the amount of like it's a long problem that's been happening, but basically people getting priced out of here. Like our median price for a home is like $800,000 to $1 million, $800,000 to $1 million.
Yeah, I get it. Like that's insane. That's so much money, and it's definitely like a problem of people just seeing the glamour of it. Like you see on social media, people are only gonna post really like the glamorous part of it, or their experience in where they live, which is not all that you should consider when trying to decide if you should move somewhere.
It's a little different too than just like going to Detroit and like, you know, I don't, because Hawaii's still, you know, under, you know, what happened with Hawaii in the past and stuff definitely has a big impact versus than, like California or something like that. And like, anyways, but that's a good, interesting topic. We brought that up about like, seeing influencers and stuff like that. But like I said, let me know whenever you come out, and we'd be sick to like meet up and stuff.
Absolutely want to at minimum vacation in Hawaii at some point. At bare minimum. I realistically probably won't move to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I dream about it because I just love, like, some of my favorite photographers have done trips out there and done photo shoots out there, and it's always just so incredible.
Yeah. It's not good for tourism. I mean, it is good for tourism, but like, bro, we are like, I don't know if it was our mayor or governor or the governor of Hawaii. I think he like recently asked the airlines to like, can you restrict some flights and stuff because we're overpopulated right now. It's mad. It's
wow. I didn't know that.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like there's no, I hear all the time, Allimo, is like tons of people are investing in Turo. They're buying cars and they're renting them, and tourists are paying the finance on it. And it's crazy. I have a friend who has 3 cars that bought for Turo to rent out to tourists, and he's already paid off like 2, and he got this 3rd. I'm like, geez, bro. So I don't know. It's a madhouse right now. It's crazy. I don't know. COVID changed a lot of things. Maybe people are just like, man, I need to go on vacation more, or just, I don't know. COVID, man.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know if it will ever end, but
I hope it does.
And anyways, Allimo, let's talk about your photos.
That's me.
Here we go. These are your raw
I'm a professional
images.
at derailing.
Yeah. We're gonna go image by image. We want to know the stories of them, but here you go, chat. Here are the 3 images that the Allimo has sent. 2 of them with the diffusion filter, right? And then, and then yes, the 3rd one here that was, not borderline racy, right? Still good.
It's still PG.
Yeah, still PG. So, all right, we'll start with the first one here, though. The one that reminds me of Soul Eater, I think.
Oh, yeah. So that's my friend Stephanie. So she does
Stephanie?
A lot of kind of J fashion,
okay,
and kind of alternative fashion and Lolita stuff. So
okay,
I kind of wanted to just go out and shoot and do kind of a styled thing, and I reached out to her, and she picked out some outfits, and we just went downtown.
Yeah.
That was kind of all there was to it. This was on the R, and I think the 85. This might be on the Takamar, actually.
Takamar? Yeah.
So I have a Super Takamar, which I was using to do. The lens is much smaller than the filters that I have, but I was holding the filters in front of the lens.
Okay. I just looked up the Super Takamar. That's these guys.
It's the thread mount vintage lenses, but I don't remember what lens. I actually don't remember which one I have. It's a 55
millimeter,
something like that. You would think I would remember what I bought, but I don't remember what I bought.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, it's got a diffusion filter, which is actually just a clear filter with some hairspray on it, and then a star filter on it. Listen, I'm telling you, we're real scuffed over here.
Wait,
but we make it work.
So hairspray will do that on a filter. You're
so
doing
if you
some
take a clear
Dixie
filter,
Dixon vibes here.
Oh yeah, if you take a clear filter, like a UV filter, and aerosol hairspray, and you want to do it very, very very faintly. So you
Okay.
want to hold it like really far away,
Okay.
not even this close. You want to like let it just dust on the filter, and it'll give you that like kind of diffusion filter style. And obviously you can add more or less or whatever to kind of get the effect you're looking for. But that's all it is. It's just some hairspray on the front of a lens. Not front of the lens. Don't hairspray your lenses, guys.
There you go,
please.
chat. If you didn't know that, chat, please type in the chat. Say thanks, Allimo. Thanks for the tip. Karu says new trick. Jasper's still gathering his mind together because it was blown. Flo says his dad would kill him. Love it.
You can also do Vaseline, but that's too messy. I don't want to.
Or
no,
you could be
I'm
like
not doing
me and
that.
just go to FX Prism Lens and buy the filter for $150. No, just kidding. I didn't buy it for $150. Wasn't that much.
I was gonna say I didn't think they were that much, but there. I mean, there's value in owning those. You know.
The tinsel I think was from Merely
Yeah, I
akin. She
don't
had
know what
like
the tinsel
she
tip
had
is.
tinsel. She came out and did this, and she had a photo shoot, and it was kind of like a mermaid theme, and she had some tinsel dangling in front of her lens, and it looked it looked like bubbles. It was really beautiful. But you know, like the tinsel you have on Christmas trees and stuff, different tinsel.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, Vaseline. So like I was saying that when I was prepping for Dixie's interview, there was a lot of times where she had in her promo videos of like her assistants holding up a clear like picture frame. Like you also do a picture frame, chat, where you can like actually hold the frame. It feels more comfortable. And then she has like Vaseline on the glass or whatever, and then you just hold it in front of the camera. We didn't really get on to that with my interview, but yeah. Have you done Vaseline?
I have not.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seems so messy that I'm just like, I don't want to be putting Vaseline on stuff and just like having a weird Vaseline covered thing. No, I have not done Vaseline.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So I guess I'm going to show my edit first, and then
I did not watch you edit.
You did
so
it?
I don't know what. No, I had to hop off. I had to get on my work VPN, which they have blocked Twitch, which is very rude.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, and...
I don't know what you've done.
So we got the raw on the left, and then we got the edit on the right.
Yeah, so you went with more of like a grungy vibe. Kind of a desaturated. Yeah, so I see a crop in there. Cropped it in a little bit. I like the desaturation. There is like the orange yellow in the back that kind of pops a little bit. I would probably like selective brush that a little bit down. But other than that, it's more similar to mine than I think I thought at first. Because I kind of have a similar. I don't know what it is about that kind of green undertone that works really well in this. Red and green. Well, that would be why. The hat, she's got red in her outfit. Yeah. So the colors there kind of complement. I like on yours. So the reason why I thought this was done with the Takamar is because in the image, you can't really see it in the raw because it's so hazy. Yeah. There's a weird kind of I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a weird texture that kind of happened, and you can see it really bad in the black of her. Yeah, in the black of her shirt. And I like that you've managed to kind of decrease that quite a bit. Yeah. That's why I thought this was. I couldn't remember, but I'm pretty sure I shot this with the Takamar for that reason alone, because there's that weird kind when these old vintage lenses have a lot of flare coming at them. They do some weird stuff, man. I mean, it's cool. It's fun. They do some fun stuff, but it is kind of distracting a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like that you've done that on yours.
I noticed
decreased
that
quite a bit.
when I was lifting the shadows and stuff, I was like, "What the frig is this?" And I didn't really
Yeah.
talk about it. Yeah, yesterday on stream when I was editing, I was just editing through, but in my head, I was like, "What? This is interesting. What is this? Is this part of her shirt or like?" Anyways,
Yeah,
so
it's just some weird flare nonsense happening.
Yeah. So all I did was just make that part of the shirt black. I mean, you can kind of see it's still there, but when you just darken the shirt, it kind of like got rid of it a little bit. I did crop it. I did a lot of dehaze, and I was like, wow, it's really popping through. So there wasn't too much haze. So I cropped it. I like to try and make things symmetrical and stuff. So I brought it real close in, and then it's interesting that you brought up the green undertones with the red hat, because I didn't plan that, but I did put those green undertones in there. So for all the images as well, I didn't touch any of the presets. I wanted to really just like color it on myself. Karu, all right, thank you so much. Enjoy your dinner. Thanks for watching. And so I did, I messed with the shadows, highlights, and midtones on this, and I came up with this. I really like your suggestion about that orange back there. If I could have desaturated that bit, because now it's like sticking out. I'm like, okay, I really see it. But this red right here on the building, not too bad, because it kind of matches like the shirt and the hat. But that orange there in the back.
The red on the building doesn't bug me too much, because it's just part of the back.
Yeah.
But the orange, it's mostly the orange. I don't even think the green really bothers me, but
yeah,
like the color harmony of the photo, that orange is kind of sticking out a little bit.
One thing can I say is I love the details with like the nails and stuff. Even right here on this ring, you can see star, light action, and I'm like, this is so sick. Like, do you see the stars coming out for nails? Like, that was rad.
I love that filter. It's so like 70s. It's so fun.
Is it a vintage filter that you got, or did you buy it?
No,
is it new?
I got it on Amazon. It's like a set of 3 or 4,
oh, wow.
And each one has different points on it. So like one's a 4 point, 5 point, 6 point, and then maybe like an 8 point or something like that.
Ooh, that's smart. I would just buy 1 star filter and be done, but getting a set that has different points, might have to do that. All right, so here is the raw, and here is the Allimo's edit. Oh yeah, I can really see it come out on yours. Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. So I went with a lot more of a bright kind of saturated look with this.
Yeah.
I did, man, I tried so hard to kind of minimize that marbling that's going on there, that flare. And I couldn't get it to look right. I don't know what I was doing, but I could not get it to look right. The other thing that I did was I moved the smile on the mask up. I don't know if you spotted that.
No, did not. Let me pull up the raw here real fast.
It sits a little low on the mask, like kind of towards the chin.
Oh.
So in a lot of the photos, I just inched it up a little bit to make it more centered.
Okay. Wow.
Do
you see that, chat? You see it now?
Oh yeah.
Flo says straight to Tokyo. No croppage on this one at all.
No, I don't even think I straightened it. I can't. Nah, there might be a little straightening in there.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah, I kept the framing pretty true. I toned it in Photoshop for the most part, I think.
Okay.
I think I did a little bit of dodge and burn on the legs because when I applied some color toning, it got a little wonky. But
Okay.
yeah, I went for kind of a bright, sunny, like pop those reds a bit.
Mm-hmm,
And I in my edit, I actually popped the well, the color is a little more saturated in the back, but I think I technically toned it down a bit because I'm pretty sure when I toned it, it was so bright. I don't know why that yellow in the back was just so neon.
Interesting. And when you colored it, did you have any LUTs or presets or anything?
Yeah, I used some Photoshop LUT. I don't remember which one I used, but I have that set of LUTs from what's the company? It's the company that Shu has code with. They're good. I really like them. They're really nice presets, but that was the kind of LUT that I used was from whatever the heck it is. I don't know if anyone in chat knows what the company is. I can't think of what the company is that makes them. But yeah.
Nice. Let me put them together now. All right, we've got the raw on the left, Allimo's edit in the middle, and then my edit on the right. Yours is very happy, very dreamlike fantasy.
I kind of was going for like a retro kind of feel, obviously with the very 70s star.
Yeah.
I really like the grungy vibe you've got going on. I like the desaturation, and I really like that you managed to get rid of kind of that lens distortion flare that's going on the dark side. I think it looks a lot better without it. I wish my shot did not have it.
I don't know if I went in with a brush. I don't think I did. I think it was literally just bringing the blacks down in the shadows. One thing I did do, Allimo, is I did go in with a brush and I burned the background, and I did some burning in the shadowing. In the shadowing,
Yeah.
I think I did this as well, but I did bring down the background. So
because I can see there's a lot more of like the font. So if you look at the font in the back, kind of above her head, you can see a lot more of it clearly in your edit than you can on mine. Mine's a lot more still kind of blown out and hazy, and you brought some of that contrast back.
Looking at yours, I feel like I kind of would want to crop it out again and bring in more of that. I feel like looking at it, I like how she's framed within this light leak with the space after that. You know what I mean? I feel like
right. And I think the rainbow is a little more pronounced on the flare on yours. Like if you look at the beam that's above her head over to the right, you can see some of those colors better. I didn't bring that out at all.
Interesting. Did you check chat?
Mikey, I've dabbed so many times already. How many times am I gonna dab?
All right. Moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Boom. What's the story behind this one?
I don't know. Okay. I was like, which one are we looking at? So this was actually a collab shoot with Rush. So he had this idea to do a photo shoot with a bunch of big coats. And I'm trying to remember kind of how we got down to the path of coats and campers.
Yeah.
Because that was what Rush ended up submitting his photos for publication. And so, sorry, Amaya's like, I think there's a bug, and Amaya's like going after the bug in the windowsill. So it was, the concept started as big coats, and then we came to the idea of coats and campers.
Wow.
And so I ended up scouting There's a website that you can rent campers from, which I didn't know
Wow,
was a
that's
thing.
so sick.
It's called Outdoorsy if anyone's ever in the market to rent a camper. And this guy in town had this really awesome retro Shasta camper that was super cute, and we felt like it matched perfectly. And so,
How much was it to rent?
Oh, $100 maybe.
Okay.
Because we reached out to him and we were like, hey, we want to do a photo shoot. We're not actually going to go anywhere with it. Like, do we want to just rent, like, can you do just a day? Because I think he had like a few days minimum. And we were like, we can pick a day that is like not busy or that no one's going to have it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no problem. Because for them, a lot of times it's easy money.
Yeah.
Right. You're not putting any miles on it. You're not doing anything in it really.
So
they're
smart.
like, yeah, I'll take $100 or whatever for it. And Sydney and I picked out the outfits, and we made sure that everything was good, and we showed up and shot it.
Well done. Let me bring up my
It
edit.
was super cool.
My impression when I first started editing this was that I did not have to do much. It was just, it's so nice. But here's my edit. Here it is on the right, chat. So
Ooh.
here's what give me your reaction first, then I'll tell you what I did.
Yeah. I like the moody vibe of it. It's super kind of, it takes it in more of like a mysterious direction. Like I feel like there's more of a story to it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I like it's a little desaturated to begin with, but
Yeah.
the kind of muted nature of it.
Yeah.
Her highlights, like the highlights on her cheeks, pop really well. I think I wish there was, in some of the shadows it does get a little muddy. Mm-hmm. But I think that's partially from the raw. It was a little dark in there, but I think that's the only thing. I think that's the only thing that kind of sticks out, is that the shadows are a little muddy.
You shot this with that diffusion filter again? Your custom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So that had the diffusion on it as well.
Nice. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. Okay, so Allimo just said earlier, chat, is like the way that like we edit and work. You know, it's very in the moment situational. Like you'll be one season of your life, you'll be like editing and doing it this way, and then you move on and you do it in a different way. And I feel like if I had edited these photos the first time you came on, back then I was directed a lot by the preset I was working with. I would just go through and be like, oh, I like this mood, and I would run with that mood. When you and Luis directed me to Maston Labs, and I've been editing my weddings and stuff with Maston Labs, their presets are very kind of minimal, you know, and I'm trying to stick to an editing style now that's more clean, and although it does change the color tones, it's not like super drastic. And so like having it more towards like I want it true to the raw, but I want it just a little bit, you know? So that's what I've done with this one a lot. I didn't, like I said, I didn't add any presets to these. I just used the three-way color, but you know, it is very darker, but there really isn't a lot. I didn't change the hue on the blue. Bye, Carrie. I didn't change the hue on the freaking, you know, camper or the curtain or anything, you know?
Right.
The main thing that I did,
I'm laughing because it's gonna come up in my picture.
The crops. I got rid of the little silver thing on the wall. I got rid of the little markings below on the baseboard. I just cleaned it up a little, and then I went in on the clothing and I adjusted the clothing separately to get it back to what it was in the raw. because
Nice.
before I did that, it was more brown. So I
Right.
brought that back to that more reddish look.
Mm-hmm.
And then the big thing that sets the mood here is I put a radio filter streaking this way with the window light. So
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it brought more attention like right there. And that
Mhm.
was
It
the
kind
big
of-
difference maker.
Yeah, it like dramatizes the light. It kind of makes it more angular.
I've been that's one of the things I've been doing lately a lot, and a lot of my edits is like trying to bring attention to like my subjects and then working with the direction of the sunlight in the photo or the light source, you know, and putting that like radio filter in, and boom. And I actually learned that
Right.
from Elijah. I don't know if Elijah's still in here, but I picked that up from him.
Nice.
But yeah, that
I
was
noticed
it.
you didn't edit the tag out.
I
edited the wall,
was
but you didn't
thinking
get the
about
tag.
it. I was thinking about it. It had the thought in my mind. I don't know. I didn't.
Personal
All right.
choice.
Oh, one thing too. I think it was when I was editing this yesterday, and I was like, I'm so glad Allimo didn't give me images where I have to do a lot of retouching, because her skin looks flawless like from this far out. Like when you zoom in,
Sydney
there's
is such a good model.
there's really nothing to do here.
She's
like-
flawless. I kid you. I used her. She's such a longtime friend of mine. She was one of the first people who like modeled for me when I was younger, and like just getting started out in photography. And she really like, she just does it. She knows, she's very body aware, and she just is such a master of posing.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Wow. Well, enough about me. Let's go to your edit. Here we go, chat. 1, 2, and boom, boom.
Very different.
What is going
Super
on
different.
here?
What is going on here?
Yes.
So I, with the thought in mind that this was going to be a set of images. So what really guided my editing here was I was trying to create a story across so many pictures and so many different settings. And so I really wanted it to kind of be this very retro, very kind of bright and pumped up style.
Yes.
And they're all over my Instagram too. Like if you scroll through, there's so many posts from this set.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of my order of operations here. So I toned it a little bit in Lightroom, and then I took it into Photoshop, and I did, if I remember right, I did quite a bit of dodging and burning, because this was supposed to be more of like a high-end fashion shoot, which typically people do kind of more intense retouching on.
Yeah.
So I dodged and burned her face quite a bit, as you can tell. I kind of got rid of that shadow from the cap, because it exaggerated her under eyes a little bit, because the shadow fell like right underneath the eye. So it looked like she had like some gnarly dark bags.
Yeah.
So I retouched that quite a bit. And
Does.
man, I just chucked up that saturation. And I used a preset that was pretty heavy in cyans.
Yeah.
And another thing, and I know in post, I went through, and the coat and the pants didn't quite match when I was retouching, and I wanted them to be more red. Because in real life they're much more red than they look in the photos. Like the raws, they look quite a bit desaturated. So I wanted to go back in, and I spent quite a bit of time kind of I used a color layer and like painted over areas of the coat and the pants so that they were a lot brighter and kind of matched a little bit more, because the LUT that I used really just whacked with those reds specifically. So I had to spend a lot of time messing with that. But yeah, I kind of went ham on the coloring here.
Yeah, you did.
And I didn't go back and re-edit anything. I wanted it to be the original edits that I did for all of these photos. So going back, I probably would take it down a bit in some of the saturation, especially in like the leg that's it's her right leg.
Yeah.
The skin on my screen looks a little neon. I don't know if it's just me or not, but
it's not too bad.
I'd probably go back and touch it down a little bit.
Okay. Well, as you did that, I wanted to see the other images that you had from this set so that it makes sense. And I was like, boom, there we are. Here's all the images, chat. And it comes together though nicely. It's nice.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of, when you have so many different outfits in so many different places, trying to match everything. So making everything look like a cohesive set is super important when you're doing kind of more of an editorial style.
Yeah.
Which can make it a little bit tricky, and in a way can kind of back you into a corner when editing, because something that may look good on one particular set of outfits. So like this outside outfit here with the black coat. There may technically be a way that I would have edited this totally different if I didn't have to consider that I needed this to all go together as a set, if that makes sense. So it kind of backs you into a corner. Once you decide a direction to go, you kind of have to go that direction for everything, even if there's something that may have been a little bit better for that particular location and outfit.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Shucks. It's so cool to even see the outside of the camper and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So when you were shooting these, was Delante there shooting as well?
Yeah.
And posing, it's like you guys would trade off.
Yeah. So because it was his concept, and I know that he wanted to submit them for publication, on set, he kind of directed mostly what we shot and where, because it was his original idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, we basically just like took turns. He would shoot first and shoot an outfit and shoot a look, and then I would shoot the same outfit and look, and then once we were both good, we would just go on to the next one.
Yeah. All right. Two things for me. Now that I see and now I heard you, I completely missed the shadowing on her face. Definitely something I would go back and fix. Then this little dot thing, I was even considering getting rid of that. I didn't know if it was part of the window. But then the tag, if I did that tag, boom, boom. But it's almost like two shots from two different movies in a way, like
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, if I were editing it for, like, if I were looking at that photo and editing it just for that photo, I probably wouldn't have removed like as much as I did, or gone kind of to the nth degree like I did in some of the photos. But making it kind of that editorial perfect image, doing that was something that I definitely wanted to do. Trying to think if there was anything else I did. I think it was other images. There were some other images where, because it's a white shirt, it shows like wrinkles a little bit worse, but I don't think I did anything really on this photo in particular.
Nice. Sweet. So good. All right, let's move on to this last one here. And man, this one, she has been your muse on Instagram.
She was the last one she's the last person that I've had a photo shoot with, so that's why she's kind of just sitting on my Instagram. So many photos on my Instagram.
Yeah.
So we rented an Airbnb. My friend actually got me in contact with someone who has a beautifully styled Airbnb. And we rented it for the day, and she had some like promo stuff that she wanted to do, because she is like she's an influencer on Instagram, but she also models, so she gets products and stuff. So we wanted to do some of those, and then we kind of did a few sets of images that were very like 70, because it's very 70s decored house.
Yeah.
But this one, there's such a nice so in this I have a selfie of me taking this picture, because I felt and looked incredibly absurd, because I am in the bathtub laying down. I'm like laying down, leaned back, the faucet is like right here, and I've got my camera, and I've got a 35 millimeter, and I'm like smashed in the back of this bathtub.
Oh my gosh!
Trying to get these pictures.
You know how they do like was it the location and the shot? They should do the shot and the photographer.
That was the reason why I like took that selfie. Is I'm like, it was so absurd, because the way that I had to lay in the tub, my head was like smashed against the faucet from the tub. So I'm like trying to finagle my camera while also like getting a face full of tub faucet. Oof. It was so funny. I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the story.
All right, Airbnbs. I don't know. I never thought of that. That's good. Style shoots, Airbnbs. Okay. Let's bring up my edit. 3, 2, and 1.
Ooh, color. I was interested to see if you would do black and white or color. So for me, I just don't like this image in color, I think. As a combination of the lighting isn't great, because it's just like a bathroom.
Yeah.
So the lighting is really yellow. I think there's a green, there's a blue tile wall to my left. Maybe it's green.
Yeah.
And then there was some purple casting on her hair. So if you look at her hair, you can kind of see there's that, the purple haze, and it just wasn't. I'm trying to remember. I had a beauty dish that I had gelled purple, and I don't know if I had it in any of these. I don't think I did.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just something about this that I don't think color does it justice. For some reason. I don't think that the green works with the purple and the yellow, like the color harmony. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
The harmony of colors for me doesn't work in this. But with all that in mind, other than doing like insane amounts of color correction, I think it is like a really nice, simple, plain kind of true color edit.
Yeah.
I would probably want in this picture her arm and her hand have a strong yellow undertone, and her face has a strong red purple undertone.
Yes.
And I think bringing those closer together is something that I would do. And then that purple hair cast. I don't know that I dislike it, but it sticks out, if that makes sense.
There's a lot of things going on with this, because you have that bathroom light from the top, because it's a little orange here, and then you have the light coming in lighting up this, and it's the magenta on it's thrown off. So I definitely see that, and I don't know if I caught it when I was editing it yesterday, and then I also see the difference with the skin, with the face and the arms and stuff like that, to bring that into harmony. Yeah, so it's good. I love hearing your thoughts, and chat, you probably can guess that Allimo stuck this in black and white, but it's good to hear this first, because
the easy way out.
because we wanted to hear what not just what she didn't like about my edit, but like the image in general. But when I saw it, I was like, man, it's really orange. And so I definitely played with the white balance to bring it back to like a normal looking thing. I also went in there with a brush and I destructured and declarified the background, so it's a little bit more mush blurry. And then I did another radio filter from the top down, but I erased the radio filter from here above her knee around down to the top of the tub. So the only thing that's really being affected is this portion right here with the shadows in the tub.
Right.
So it kind of gave you a little bit more dynamic down there.
I really like how you evened it out. So in the raw, there's really strong backlight because there's the two windows.
Yeah.
And you did a really good job of kind of flattening it out and bringing everything a little bit more on the same plane as far as exposure goes. And I like the popping of the purple. Like it's like a Fenty Beauty like set. She's got shorts on and like a robe top. And I like that color purple.
Yeah.
It looks super good.
It's nice. All right. Ryder, thanks, man. Are you ready to bring on yours?
Yeah.
It. And here's your chef's kiss, Asya.
I didn't do anything to this picture other than chuck it in black and white. I cropped it. That's a lie. I did crop it.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, it's this raw. I don't know what it was about it. Well, I just told you what it was about it that I didn't really like about it.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, I just could not make color work for it. I tried and I just couldn't get it to where I liked it. And I didn't think that color really added anything to it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot going on color wise. I felt like putting it in black and white put more focus on her. Literally all I did was I cropped it and I stuck Mastin. I think it's Mastin's Delta 100 to it.
I've yet
Called
to get
it
that.
good. This is one of those rare cases where I don't even think I took it into Photoshop.
Yeah.
That's it. And I felt like it just kind of spoke for itself. And she's so pretty.
That's the edit.
Like, man, it's so rude.
No, it's good. Yeah, crops kind of similar. Let me put our images here together. There you go. Boom. It's a wonderful shot though. But this is a good shot to like show like there are some images, man, that you really gotta like put more elbow grease into to like make it work. I mean, like for me, I went the color route and I tried to make it work, but chat, like there's just so many things that like, I think the light from the window and then the light from the bathroom really mix up a lot of stuff because it's, the different balances, and then the warm light from the top making warm hair, and then the colder light bringing in the magenta tones on her hair. You can like see that mixing and
it's a mess of a raw. It is a mess of a raw. I'll tell you that. And I gave it to you on purpose, trying to see, like, I knew that this was not an optimal image to begin with because of the varying, you got the different light colors and you've got the different directions of light that kind of are fighting with each other, and I was really curious to see what you were gonna do with it.
Yeah.
And I like that you kept it in color.
I also did one other thing I forgot to tell you, but I filled in the little holes in her hair. So like the thing, the little holes, and then that little bridge thing there, I just filled that in.
I didn't even see that. Super subtle.
Yeah.
Super good.
Boom. There we go, chat. Let me put all the photos together. Thanks, Race the Fan. Appreciate it. Here are all of the Alamos photos that she sent me to edit. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And man, I don't know how to say this, but I feel like I learned a lot. I really enjoyed it. And I feel really inspired right now. Like, I don't mean to like, I don't know. I look at these and I look at the other ones that I did last year and I feel like I've improved a lot. But there's still, man, so much to learn and so much to pay attention to and like to continue growing, you know what I mean? And
yeah, and I don't think that there's never a right or a wrong. There's never a I get so many critiques on my work that I do that I just am like, okay, thank you for your opinion, and I just like don't agree with some things that people think about stuff that I've done, which I think that sounds really arrogant, but at the same time, a lot of it is just preference and being able to recognize, like, is this just a difference in preference, or is there something that should be taken away? And some of it is a good takeaway, but you only take some of it away. But yeah, I love these, and I think that you've done a lot in the past year to kind of expand horizons and explore. And take liberties to kind of have fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It was definitely fun. It was definitely fun. Yasmin wants to fly you out to the UK so that you can take your photos.
I would love to go to the UK. Take me, please.
I would love to see what you do for her. That would be so sick. That's a mashup I would love to see. The Allimo meets Yasmin.
Party!
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna pull up the images that I sent you, chat. Because I'm trying to take a little approach, because before it was just people sending me images and then that was it. But I like the whole 3 images and then we exchange and then boom boom boom. I think this is the way, so that we can see each other's styles from each other's sides, so it's not just a one-sided thing. So let me bring back the overlay, and here we go. Here are the 3 images. For those of you guys who've been watching me lately, you guys are used to these are the 3 most recent shoots that I've done, this maternity, this wedding a couple weeks ago, and then this one. So I wanted to use edits that everyone was used to seeing, and they've seen me edit and stuff. And I'm really curious to, I didn't look at the images until this morning, and I tried not to stare too much because I really wanted to dissect them on stream and really look at it. But here's what we're gonna do, chat. I'm gonna bring up Alimo's edit. I'll give my thoughts, and then we'll let the Allimo explain what she did. So let's see here.
I'm so excited.
Yo, what's up, Alex? So this image right here, man, this couple, I was like, bro, why do you want to do bridal portraits at 2 p.m. when the sun's sky high and it's freaking hot and blah? But I mean, it didn't come out too bad. I don't know, shadows, I'm not a perfectionist, but I don't mind it. It's a nice shot. Okay, so here we go. Let's bring up the Allimo's edit here.
I'm like nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous.
You better be nervous. No. It's very dreamy. There's not a lot of hard contrast to it. It's more on like the flat level, I think. And I think because it's like out there in the middle of the afternoon with these like harsh shadows, that's fine, and it's dreamy, and it's beautiful. What did you hold on a sec. I'm curious because I got a retoucher looking at or editing my images, so I wanna see what she did. I wanna see what she did. Let's see. Did you do anything? I'm not. I don't know if I have that trained eye yet, but
I did. So obviously I color graded it.
Yes.
I think that's pretty clear. I expanded it. I don't know if you noticed.
oh my gosh, freaking no! I
It's
did not.
zoomed out a little bit. Because it was a bit, for me, it was a bit tight.
Okay.
And I wanted to see a little bit more. And it was pretty easy.
Yep. There you
to
go on the
expand it.
sides. There you go.
I did some
That's gorgeous.
dodging and burning, mostly like globally, kind of on her face,
Yeah.
just because, as you mentioned, it's 2 p.m. on a beach in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So, I brightened them up a bit compared to the background, and then I did a little bit of skin gradient mapping on her, because when I brought up some of the exposure, her face, she has like a I don't know if it's a reflection, but on her face, like the highlights are pretty orange tinted.
Could be from just
It looks
the
like
sand.
there's something, yeah, it looks like there's some kind of orange reflection in the skin.
See it.
And so I did like a gradient map to kind of just like on a very low opacity on color mode,
Yeah.
to just bring everything a little closer together. I dodged and burned his hair a bit.
Yeah.
So when I brought up the exposure, in the shadows, there were some patches in his hair that just kind of stuck out more than they do in the raw.
Yeah.
And I just kind of burned some of those spots back down. And then I did kind of blend the line of his shirt. So he's got an undershirt on that you can kind of see the line
Yeah.
of, and I just a little bit. I didn't go real ham. I didn't go real hard in the paint there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was so it's so pretty. Like the background is so nicely exposed. They're still super well exposed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is a really clean raw. So I tried to keep it very very tropical, very clean, very bright, beachy,
Yes.
summery.
Yes. Thank you. I love it. I appreciate that. And that's yeah, okay, so Chad, this is me learning about my own work here. There's so many things that I don't see, but you know, seeing that reflection from the sand really does like boom, boost up that oranges. Let me bring in mine. I love how you expanded it, and I kind of agree. I think it needs that room to breathe and stuff. Because as we will see on my crop, it's definitely a little bit tighter. So when I edited this, I did crop it in, so it's kind of like, you know, that third right there.
Yeah.
Woo! I gotta. Whew. Okay, so you talked about dodging and burning the hair. Now I really see it. That's like.
Yeah, you only see it in the raw. It's not really there. You don't notice it, but when you start bringing up like the midtones, it kind of exposes itself a little bit.
Yeah. So when I edited these, this one I did not recent, but like a couple days ago when I was editing through these. So I was working with the preset stuff and just batch editing through. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. So I don't know if there's much else. Let me put them together so that we can see. Okay.
Yeah, and like I have to caveat with an asterisk that like I would never take, if I'm doing a wedding where there's like hundreds of photos,
Yeah.
I ain't taking all this time on one photo. No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I like, man, weddings are a whole like the context of a wedding, editing in the context of doing a whole wedding. I'm not spending this much time on like more than maybe one or two really key photos. I would probably not do this to this photo if I were editing the whole wedding.
Did you add a dreamy filter look kind of to this? I feel like it's like there's like some little blur action.
It.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe I went real ham with the
anything.
clarity or something like that on the hair.
I was gonna say yours is a little more contrasty.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more like clear. I don't know if there's a clarity in. I don't know if you were doing Lightroom or Capture One, but yeah, it's got quite a bit more contrast to it.
This is definitely. I'm definitely gonna go back over these and just. Here's Aaron copying Allimo's homework. No, but it's good. I like the softness here with the hair, especially. What else am I thinking?
I did notice when I was editing it, when I color toned it, for some reason the suspender straps always went blue, and I see it did it in your photo too. Yeah. And I know that I went back and I told him to calm down a bit. It's like, chill out. Yeah,
no, that's all. Guys, if you have any comments or any feedback, feel free to post it up in the chat. Women's arm is so I don't know how I can. Hey, part-time fun, thanks for the raid.
_time_fun just traded the Light Den Academy with 10 people. Welcome to the House of Nikon. Bow down and offer your bodies to the yellow god.
I took away the alert where there's like all the musics and stuff like that. Part-time fun and party attend. Welcome into the stream. Today we've got our guest on, the Allimo. Type in !guest, and you'll see all the information of the Allimo, Indiana photographer. This is the second half of our interview. We just went through 3 images that she sent me to edit. So we compared and contrasted. This second half, we're looking through the images that I sent her. So this is the first image. So welcome. I hope you enjoy this segment. Conley says, I love being able to listen while I work. It's like an amazing photography podcast.
Thank you, Connolly.
Yee. All right. Yeah. So, what is this? Sorry, I don't mean to like. This might have been something you missed, Allimo. Let me see.
What did I miss? What is it?
This right here. This little like action on the hand there.
Oh.
I'm curious as to what that is.
That is probably a messy layer mask. That is almost certainly exactly what that is. Okay. I do use select subject, and sometimes I don't go back and double check it.
You busted these edits out so fast, so I mean,
it's so funny because I remember like at the end I saw it and I was like, oh, I wonder if he's got like a burn on his hand or something. And I didn't think to just look and see if it was just a bad layer mask on my part.
Yeah.
I'm just bad at layer masking and paying attention to my layer masks. So, it kind of happens.
Yeah. Awesome. So, everyone who just came in here, Jay Cook, nice to see you. Feel free to comment. Feel free to give your feedback and what you like, what you don't like, what you do different. That's completely fine. Charles said he doesn't like the arm on my edit on my crop. So that's completely fine to say. Yeah. Any other final thoughts? I thanks for pointing out also on the straps too.
I think mine's a little too cyan. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I went a little too hard on that. It's a little cyan in the water. Yeah, like looking at them side by side, it looks a little too cyan, but maybe on its own it's okay. Because I had to really fight with when I added that cyan boost, it really brought a lot of the edge of his hair
Yeah.
Clapping for the cheer.
Yay.
Like the edge of his hair it was like neon cyan. I was like, fudge. So I spent so long sitting there brushing like the edge of his hair, trying to make it not look like there was like a neon cyan sign behind his head.
Well, yeah, awesome. Okay, on to the next one. We've got Mama Maiden in the Forest. So you can see, chat, how underexposed I went with this, but we will see the Allimo's edit. This was shot with that diffusion filters that I have, you know, in the middle of the afternoon for a maternity. So the reason why I sent this one to you, because I remember we had discussed about the legs, and I wanted to see what you would do with it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, chat. Here is the Allimo's edit on the right. And let me give my reaction. So I did kind of do a little peek-see on it, and I was like, yep, she did do stuff with the legs, and I like it. I like it. I get this. It's interesting because you see the legs up here and then they just disappear. So like that can be like an either like I like it, or like I don't know if she's like floating, or like if you're gonna disappear her legs, maybe you would dial back the harshness of like her knee and her thigh up higher. I don't know. But I want to hear your process behind it. I like the greens. I like the colors on it. Obviously you lifted the shadows really well, so you know her face is there again and she looks beautiful. And I just noticed that you colored that you patched in the path, so she's completely standing in the grass. So there are signs that say stay on the trail, so technically on the shot she's trespassing on unmarked graves. But other than that,
oh my gosh, what? I just went really deep there. Holy cow.
Okay, so yeah, let's know what'd you do. I like it, Allimo.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so I lifted the shadows a lot in Lightroom on the raw, and then I took it into Photoshop, and I struggled really hard with what to do with the greens. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go more like a muted blue undertone, or if I wanted to go more of like a vibrant yellow. So I finally kind of settled on this. And so I added more haze. I don't know if you noticed. So like if you look at the highlights on the left in front of her.
Yes.
So I did a select color range, and I selected some of the kind of some of the highlights and some of the like brighter midtones.
Yes. And
I blurred that out and lowered the opacity. Okay. So it kind of exaggerates that haze. Yeah. Ooh, and then
that's a good one. I like it.
Because I learned that years ago, and I have to use it. So if I like on the Coats and Camper set, I use that a lot on photos that I didn't use a diffusion filter. I faked it. So you can kind of fake a diffusion filter in post by doing that select color range, copying it, and then blur it to heck. And you can either keep it on normal blend mode, or you can set it to screen and then lower the opacity for anyone who wants to fake a diffusion filter. So I did that. I cloned the path out. It didn't bug me a whole lot, but I was like, kind of a cool enhancement. And then I liquefied the bottom of the dress a little bit. So I just kind of rounded the back train out a little bit, and then I rounded the front out a little bit.
Oh, I see it.
And And then we get to the legs. So I fought a lot on what to do with the legs.
Yeah.
So I was like, is it that weird? Does it look that odd? I first tried just to kind of normalize them a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I burned the bright parts. I just hit the mic, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I didn't hear it.
I burned the bright parts and then I dodged the dark parts. And then it just looked weird. Like it didn't quite do it. So what I ended up doing was I did dodge and burn. So you talked about the shadow on the knee and the thigh. So I did lift those a lot. And then I frequency separated, and in the middle layer, I kind of repainted. So I looked at how the light was hitting the dress, and I kind of guesstimated. I was like, okay, if it was more solid, how would the shadows and light be on the dress? So there's the area where the top thigh and the leg are, where it's kind of that blue. So I did that, and then as it goes down, I did that kind of mid-tone shadow, and then I just kind of faded it to the bottom.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I'm like, can you tell that I did that? Does it look like she's still got legs? Is it like, I don't know. I kind of got to a point where I was like, I feel like if I keep messing with it, it's just going to get weirder.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to like not like it. So I was like, I think this is good. I'm going to stop. And on her face, I did touch up her hair a little bit because she had some flyaways at the back of her head that I touched up a bit. And then there was some really strong orange cast on her neck. It was super like neon bright. And so I just did a little bit of color matching, like her face to her neck.
Yeah.
And I brought a little color to the hands because sometimes when you underexpose and you bring it up in post, the shadows can get a little desaturated and muddy. And her hands just looked dead. Like there was like no color in it.
Yeah.
So
What's up, Alexa?
I just like painted a little color back in there, and that was about it.
Thank you so much. I mean, so good seeing how you did this. This is definitely learning for sure. I like it a lot. I think with the legs, I think you did a pretty solid job matching the colors and everything. I can't imagine what that process was like, but
it was. Oh no, hold on. Can we not play with that right now? I don't know if you can hear it.
I think I did one. Is it a squeezing duck or something?
Yeah, it's a honking pig toy that he was playing with for a second. I don't know if you saw him, but he came up here and he stood on my chair for a second. We had a little third guest on stream for a moment.
I like it a lot. And when I shot this, it wasn't my intention to illuminate the legs, to be able to see the legs through the dress. I wanted her to stand in the light, but I didn't plan for this. So it was in the image. We'll bring up my edit here and we'll see. Okay, here we go. Boom. So mine came out a lot brighter.
Whoa, yeah. Super bright.
Yeah, super bright. And with this forest, I've done so many shoots here, and every time I do a shoot here, there's no like one solution to the greens. It's like for one shoe, it's more on like the blue hue side, and then for this shoe, I did it more on the warmer, brighter side. What's up, Scooter? Because now you're on the receiving end of this. So, you know, for like the set that I did for this, it was definitely more on the brighter side because I really wanted her to be that angelic, glistening, amazing mom, you know, and that's why I really brightened up the tones with it and stuff like that. but I'll put them side by side so we can see all the retouching differences, you know, between you and I. And chat, just to reiterate, Allimo's a retouch master. I am a very noob, so this is learning for me.
I would not say master.
This is learning for me.
I would not say master.
Yeah, so yeah, I work with the Masson Labs again. I adjust the colors, and then I forget what I did. Man, I can't believe it's been so long since this that I forget what I did. But yeah, let me put them side by side now.
Did you crop it, or did you fill in? Oh, you cropped it quite a bit. Never mind. My eyeballs don't work. I was looking at the greenery over in the top, and I noticed that there's like a spot of sky there that wasn't there, but it's just because you cropped it out.
Oh yeah. I cropped it in a lot.
Right.
You're maestro, not master. So the big difference.
Maestro.
Yeah, big difference. Chat. You can see like the greens that Allimo filled in, and then I kept the path. Oh,
and I got rid of. There's a little bump in the dress where she's wearing like shorts or something underneath.
Yes, I did not do that.
I clipped that out. Just nipped it.
That makes a huge difference. Honestly, it makes a huge difference. See, the more I learn, the less excuses I have to not bring these into Photoshop. My main excuse is that I have a ton of these images to deliver, you know, so that means I have a ton of them to bring into Photoshop. So
right, and
that's my biggest excuse.
Yeah, well, you and I structure very differently in what we offer. So my base package only includes 10 pictures. That's all they get. Because I do this level of retouching with clients. If I were delivering as many pictures as you deliver, I would absolutely not be doing all of this to all of these pictures. There's no way, because the time it would take you to get through one gallery would be astronomical. So unless you're charging like $2,000 and delivering 100 photos, it doesn't make any sense to do it like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's never anything wrong with not like retouching a photo to the full 9 yards.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in the flow of how you run your business, it doesn't make sense. And I don't want you to sit here being not paid for doing all this retouching on these photos. Yeah. Right.
It's definitely all in context. And I appreciate this conversation so much though, because that's the reality of it. You do different work and you have different clients, and so do I. And is there an in-between where we can meet, you know, like, can we see these differences side by side on like, not just the edit we do, but like literally the work that we do. And there is that difference, you know, because like when I delivered my photos to my client, she loved it. She left a 5-star review, you know, raved to me about it. And so there's that expectation, you know, and not to say that like what I did was wrong or anything compared to what you do. It's just like different takes of work. But for me now, learning this and seeing what you do, just to like keep adding to my tools, like adding to my repertoire, can I batch edit some of these differences and things like that? Because like, man, the way that I'm looking at your shot, like I feel like I would definitely bring in a bit more shadows, make it a bit more darker. I love the skin tone on yours, and the way the skin tone is with the hair and the hands. It's so lovely. And like for mine, I'm like, I definitely could bring the shadows back. And I think when I was doing this with Emily, she kept commenting on how I didn't have any darks or any blacks and stuff like that. So I really see it, especially with this image in particular. And this was the image out of the whole set that I sent to this client. This was an image that I didn't spend as much time on versus some other ones in the set. But this one I chose specifically to just, I wanted to see what you do with the legs. And I was not disappointed. I think you did a good job.
I knew it. I knew that it was. I knew the legs would be a topic of discussion because I remember when you were going through it, we were it was a hot topic in chat to what to do. Like, what do you do with that? Do you leave it? Do you do anything with it? Because it definitely is. Like, obviously, it's not an intentional addition. It's just like how fabric works, but. Yeah, I definitely went for more of like a moody kind of muted, darker kind of vibe.
Yeah, if I want to be super harsh and criticize it, it looks like skeleton legs, you know, and it's like, yeah, if I have those lenses on, I'm like
chicken legs.
That looks horrible.
Like,
yeah.
I kept thinking of like they look like little chicken legs.
Yours definitely makes it better. So I mean, honestly, it's like an X-ray taking over a body, and it's like, what the frick is this? I want to get real critical of myself. So, you know, and to re-edit a couple and send it to her is not out of the question. So, all right, on to the last one. Here we go, chat. What's up, Epet? What's up, Kyle? Good to see you guys. We are on the last image of our Edit by Photo segment. This is this one that I just edited, and I even just posted it on my Instagram because I was like so excited to do it. Anyways, to show it. So I'm excited to see what you did.
The shot is so pretty.
It
like makes me so mad.
Why?
Because I'm jealous. Because I'm an ugly, jealous witch. And I'm like, I wish that I lived in a location that was just this pretty.
Oh, man. I mean, honestly, other than this lay, this could be shot anywhere. This is a golf course. This is a golf course.
Have you been to Indiana, sir?
Just find a golf course with these bushes.
Great Midwest? Absolutely not. Those biatches,
those biatches, they're not.
I promise you, absolutely no golf course in the state of Indiana has these kind of flowering bushes anywhere on the property. I promise
For reals.
you. It doesn't exist. Because these aren't like you're in a tropical zone. Like these kind of, I don't even know what kind of flowers these are.
Kyle's from Indiana too? No way. No way.
Every Indiana golf course is just like grass and trees. Good luck, have fun.
Okay. What about botanical gardens or something like that?
Those all cost money to shoot at, but they exist.
Okay. All right, let's bring on your edit, Allimo. Well, bam. What did you do here?
So I probably started with a Mastin preset in Lightroom because I do. I brought it into Photoshop and I didn't do a whole ton. The main thing that I kind of fought with was the sky.
Yes.
I was like, what do I do with this big sky? Because if you bring back the detail, there is some cloud detail, but some of it's blown out.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I did a very subtle sky replacement, and I feel like I'm not super great at sky replacements because I feel like it sticks out like a sore thumb, but maybe it doesn't. Getting the right balance of how bright the sky is with how bright the scene is, because in a picture like this, you wouldn't expect there to be a crystal blue, perfectly exposed sky, because that wouldn't make sense photographically.
No.
So it's like, how do you balance having a little bit more detail that's in there than what's in the raw versus like making it not look super fake? I did do a little bit of skin touch up on her arm.
Okay.
And I evened out her skin a little bit with a gradient map.
Okay.
And I did I did a curves layer to kind of make them pop a bit. But other than that, it's pretty kind of out of the box. Yeah. Not a whole lot.
You definitely went for that brighter sky look. So this location is against the side of a mountain, and so you don't really get sunset colors at this location because when the sun set, once it goes behind the mountain, then the sun's gone. It gets darker than the other side of the island where the sun is still shining. So the thing about this location too is that there's always clouds on this mountain. One thing we understand in Hawaii is like the mountains bring the clouds, and so if you're near the mountain, you're gonna experience that cooler, overcast weather all the time because that's where you live on the side of the mountain. So I told the couple that when we're doing the bridal portraits, so there's not really much you can do about that overcast look unless it's like a clear day and it's like really banging with the sunset, but usually weather's overcast. So even for me, when I was editing this, I had to deal with that, and you went the bright route. To be honest, Allimo, it took my eyes a quick sec to get adjusted to the image, and I don't know if it's because I have my freaking key light blasting the same direction where your picture is on my screen. I think that might be it. But
it is very high key.
Very
high key with it.
High key. Another question I wanted to ask: did you do any retouching under the veil? And if so, isn't that freaking tricky or what? Like you tried to avoid that?
I think I did like a tiny bit. There were some like veil wrinkles on his face that kind of stuck out once I brightened it, and you can't even really see them in the raw just because they only came out when I brightened it. No, I didn't do any like retouching per se. I did use the gradient map on the hand under the veil, but only because you can get away with it. It doesn't really stand out. No, I would no. I ain't got time for that. I would not be doing it. And the veil kind of helps you in a way because it makes everything, it brings everything out of focus, right? Like you can't see details there. You can't see the details of her face. You can't see the details of his face because of the veil. So I'm like, no, I wouldn't retouch under a veil unless it was like a pimple or something. Unless it's like a close up and you can see something. Nah.
I was wondering too because his hair, he is very thin up top, so he's got a big comb over kind of thing, and so it kind of got messed up underneath, So I was wondering if you were gonna like try and like fill in there or do anything like that, but
nah.
Left as
it just kind of looks like a shadow. Honestly, I didn't even realize that was like a hair gap per se.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it stuck out or anything.
Awesome. Yeah, and
I'm super excited to see your edit.
The more you look at it, you can see the sky coming in and stuff. So it looks like a bright, shining day. Like you wouldn't. Honestly, I don't know if you'd ever really see a day like this normally, because normally it's just overcast all the time on this mountain. So
yeah, and it's technically clouds, I think. Like it's a cloudy. I tried to pick a sky that matched what the existing one looked like, just to try and bring more detail back in, because I wasn't. I think a lot of people go wrong in sky replacements where they try to just make it super dramatic. Like they try to make it like some crazy sunset sky where it just doesn't work. And usually when I'm doing sky replacements, it's just to not make it a big white sheet in the photo. It's just to bring enough detail back in to where it's not just this big blaring white area of the photo.
Yeah. Nice. That's a good point. I am on the edge of downloading Skyloom and playing around with it now. After Dixie, and then I just for fun, I want to try it out, and it could be a good tool to have in the bag.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Ooh, very moody.
Yeah, very, very moody with this one. I did not sky replace, but kind of similar to yours, because it has that blue white kind of action going on. But I did, so I copied this preset set from another image. So I kind of wanted the greens and stuff like that to match the other. That's why it's a little bit more warm and stuff like that.
Right.
I forget what else did I do. I did have to go in with a brush and brighten their faces and their arm a bit, because they were a little bit darker. I did brighten the flowers too. Like after I kind of like synced it, then it so and so. So I did these quick sneak peek edits. To be honest, I feel like it's not done. I feel like I want to go back there, and after I edited it a couple days ago, I don't know if you saw, but there's this leaf that has a different hue than under the veil. So this right here has that bluish, and it just sticks out to me, and I'm like, bro, I need to fix that, because
yeah,
it's a bit more yellow there, right? So anyways, other than that, this was an image that I already did post on Instagram, because I loved it. I wanted to post some new work, and the couples, I sent them some sneak peeks and they loved them. But yeah, definitely a difference between your edit. Let me put them together. Boom.
I love everything about the direction you did with your edit. I think the only thing is they look green.
Okay.
Their skin is just a kiss on the green yellow side.
Yes, I see that now.
I love the greenery. I do not like mine nearly as much as I like the green direction that you went with yours. I feel like in mine, I feel like I lose a lot of the details of the dress. Like, she's got such a beautiful sparkly skirt to the dress, and she's got some of that really beautiful lace on the bodice that I feel like just gets lost in mine. And I feel like in yours it's a lot more noticeable.
Yeah.
I want to mix my skin tones and your everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else about yours, I think I like more.
That's good. Thank you for pointing that out. I need to definitely work on that skin. And I can see where you did the retouching too.
Yeah, it was just, it took me like a few seconds just to kind of smooth that out and bring up those shadows a little bit. This is such a pretty photo. This is so cute. This is a golf course. This is how pretty the golf courses are. Man, I'm mad.
There's like at least 2 waterfalls on this too.
Anymore.
In
Can
this.
I unsubscribe? It just made me want to go to Hawaii. And I don't have the money to go to Hawaii, Aaron. What do I look like? Rich? Come on.
Yes. Well, chat, I'm seriously hoping that we can do our meetup in Vegas in the next couple years, not weeks. In the next couple years.
I was like, what is it? Did I miss this? When did you guys plan this? I was panicking. I was like, I would love to go to Vegas, but I need more time.
Yes, man. Once things get back to normal and stuff, we are definitely going to do that. It'll be a really fun time. But man, if you or anyone comes to Hawaii, I'm like, at least let me just take you out to lunch or whatever. But we're definitely gonna, we'll definitely do some shoot setup or whatever. Is Aaron? I wish I could fly you guys to Vegas. There we go. There we go, chat.
Beautiful.
Good
Absolutely
stuff.
gorgeous. Today I read the news. They said U.S. open for tourism in September. What? Ooh.
What does that mean? Because I feel like people have been
what
traveling.
Part of the U.S.? There's many parts of the U.S.
Yeah, it's a good question. Woo! Allimo, that was intense.
Woo!
Isn't it kind of intense to like open yourself up to criticism and like be vulnerable like that? Does that ever like take a lot out of you?
I don't know. For me, I felt like I've always taken criticism in stride, just because the person that I learned photography from had a very particular way about how you could describe your work.
Yeah.
And in the way that he gave criticism too.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't know. I feel like criticism is always, unless someone is just like being a jerk about it and just being mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a difference between harsh and true criticism and just being a jerk. Mm-hmm. It's just like, don't be a jerk. Like, what's the point? Like, I never get it. It's just like, what is this fun for you if someone's being a jerk? Like,
have you had people be jerks to you with criticism?
Oh, so my work was featured in a Jared Polin video. He did a rapid fire critique.
Oh, I remember that. I remember. And he loved it. He loved it.
Yeah. And the criticism was fine. The criticism was valid. It's always just like the random comment section where people are just like, and of course, like, it doesn't ever like get to me, but I always just want to ask people why. Like, why? Yeah. Is this fun for you? Is it fun for people to just like get on the internet and be mean for some reason? I don't know. But people who take the time, I'm always grateful of people who at least take the time to thoughtfully explain and point out things like this, like, here, XYZ, ABC are things that I would do better, and providing why. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's ever helpful for people to be like, this is garbage. It's like, well, sure, okay, that's fine. You can think it's garbage, but can you be a little more helpful?
Constructive.
And just telling me something's garbage?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like, hello, appreciate it, but like, come on.
Yeah. I feel like, well, I mean, I always like to joke around that, like, we're gonna roast each other, or you're gonna roast me how I edited. And there have been some guests on stream that have really, said they straight up don't like it. I feel like you're pretty balanced, Allimo. Like, you'll tell me, like, especially like, I really love this, but there's this like one thing, and you just tell me really nicely that my clients look like Kermit the Frog, like, and it's like, it's awesome. I love it. But well,
it just doesn't help anybody, because when you're really harsh about things, people tend to get defensive. Very. Because
I want to know why.
You feel like you're being attacked, right? Yeah. Like, if someone is just straight up like, this is bad.
Yeah.
It feels like an attack, instead of someone being like, well, here's some things that are okay. Yeah. Or here's some things that are okay, and here's some things that I would do different. Because I feel like it's pretty hard to find something that has nothing good about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like some people do take like the Gordon Ramsay approach, which is where I've been watching too much Kitchen Nightmares, but he doesn't ever say anything good. Like, his whole thing is like, who cares what's good about it? People will talk about what's good, but people really talk about what's bad.
Yeah.
And sure, you can have that approach, but delivering it in a way that is not going to leave people feeling like garbage or leave people feeling defensive is really important, I think.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people seem to subscribe to everything is bad unless, It's important, I think, especially like as we continue to do these sessions, chat, and like, I mean, now compared to last time, Allimo, last year when you went on stream with me to do this, I think there's maybe like at least like 7-8 more people in here watching, and if this were to ever grow, that's another can of worms you're opening yourself up to. You know, like people just coming in and just bombing like this sucks, blah blah blah. Then we gotta start banning people. But
someone went into Shoes chat today and just told him he was ugly, and it's just like like people are gonna just be mean on the internet just to be mean on the internet. Yeah, that's always gonna happen for sure.
I mean, today, and I'll just tell this because I love talking about it in the moment. I don't know if Taro is here, but I know Taro is from, I believe he's Belgian. I think he's from Europe. Anyways, so there's that barrier too. You know, people who don't have English as their first language, and so the only words they know are those harsh, like this is bad or like whatever, and maybe they don't have the vocabulary to explain what they're thinking in their language. And so when Taro was like on one of my images, he's like, the middle one is no good, and then he says something about the arm. And immediately I was like thinking, like I felt myself get a little defensive, but I was like, no, because he can't explain to me why, but I know his meaning isn't to like come in here and blast me. You know what I mean? Because like in my mind, I'm like, how is it like not good? Like there's some good things about it. And, you know, and of course the context, we're looking at just one image out of the whole set. So I'm sure there might be an image that he will like, and whatever, but in this moment right now where I've opened myself up, you know, but I'll take it. Like that's fine. I wanna hear that criticism and stuff. So I think what helps the most is like if you're to say, hey, you know, this image is bad, or you know, this one I feel like you definitely can improve the legs this way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you know, rather than coming in here and be like, dude, Aaron, this is horrible, dude. It looks like she's standing in front of a freaking X-ray, dude. What were you thinking? You know, like that would freaking cut me deep. That would cut me deep. But like to like work it through and be like, well, here's why it looks like an X-ray, and here's what to avoid next time, and here's what you can do in post to like ease that up. You know what I mean? That helps so much.
Yeah, and they're especially putting work out there, taking more opportunities to put your work out there to be criticized kind of just helps like open it up a little bit, where if you just post your work more and ask for criticism, you kind of get used to seeing like the range of critics. Yeah, I've seen so many people who have posted for criticism, and I would have a list of things that I'm like, here's what I would do, here's why I think it looks the way it does, and what I would do differently to improve it. But I see posts like that where I think the images could have a lot of work, but other people are just like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this. I wouldn't change anything about it. And it's like is this helpful to the original poster? Like, is just telling someone that everything about what they've done is amazing helpful? But also it proves that there's just a wide range of tastes and opinions, where there could be a photo that I would change 100 things about that someone else thinks is absolutely incredible just the way it is. Yeah. And knowing when to take things as, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's just preference. Like there's multi-million-dollar photographers who I hate what they make sometimes. I like look at it and I'm like, dear God, why is this what you chose to do? This really went through multiple steps.
No, God, please, no, no, no.
Like seriously, there's times where I'm like, man, this is just bad, guys. Like, come on. And there's other times where the same photographer makes absolutely stunning things, where it's like, what? Were you having a bad day? Are you working with a different person? Like, what happened here? Something went wrong. Yeah. So sometimes, man, it is just taste, and sometimes you just don't agree with taste on things.
Yeah. And there's that thing too. It's like, how do you establish? You gotta establish it. Like Kyle just posted. Ask for criticism. You gotta. If you ask for it, you gotta receive it. You know. But then, you know, if you are one to be the critic, you gotta make sure they're asking for it. Otherwise, you know.
Yes.
And then you gotta clarify that, because I think even in the Twitch photography Discord, there's a photography channel and then there's a critique channel. And sometimes you'll see people critiquing in the photography channel, and it's just like, bro, did I ask for it? No, like, you gotta post in the critique channel and then take it, you know. And a lot of people will give will critique away. But in Eat Pants,
Mikey's got a good point too. Yeah.
Let's see Mikey. So to be fair, the other side, it's also really hard to give valid critique because you never know how the person's going to react. And I feel like that person has to get in their mind that if they ask for it, they better receive it. You know what I mean?
Right. I've given my fair share of I try to stay very plain and matter of fact. I'm like, here is the technicalities behind it that cause it to aesthetically look this way. Mm-hmm. So usually I tend to use the word amateur. Like, this photo looks amateur because of XYZ, and ABC is what you can do to help fix that or adjust it. And I try to be really matter of fact, really plain. I don't ever say things that aren't helpful. And man, there are just some people who they have a very strong emotional reaction to being criticized. And like, that's on them. Like, it's important to think about your reaction to criticism. Why are you reacting the way that you are? And is it because of something that someone actually said, or is it because of how you are interpreting something? Yeah. Like, if I tell you that something looks amateur because of this and blah, 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 are you thinking that I'm insulting you? Or like, do you just not like hearing that the work could be improved? Yeah. Like, thinking about why you're reacting the way that you are, I think, is a really important part of criticism. Yeah.
I feel like in our cross communities that we all have, I feel like most of us have this understanding when we go into people's streams. Number one, we're not going to backseat edit. Yeah, I think bro, I've had a couple of those. I'm just like, all right, thanks, bro. But so number one, not to jump into a stream and start backseat editing. That's the freaking worst. And then number two, when you jump into a stream, don't just right away criticize. You know what I mean? Unless you ask for it. There'll be times like yesterday. I don't know what I forget what I was editing. I don't know if it's yesterday or 2 days ago, but I was like, what do you guys think? Which one do you prefer? The one on the left or the one on the right? I forget, but I did that with a full-on image, and you guys were nice to say, I like this one, and you didn't tell me the reasons why the other one sucked horribly. But in those moments, you gotta be real pointed and say, okay, all right, now I'm opening up criticism. What do you guys like this, or do you like this? Oh, it was a wedding, right. and I remember. So in those moments, those are definitely okay. But let's just set those ground rules, right? Don't be backseat editing when you jump into a stream. Don't be criticizing right off the bat, unless asked for. Yeah. Scaramouche says, I would rather question your background and understanding what is currently trendy, looking at your bang. Oh, I guess that's just asking towards you, Allimo.
Trendy? What did we talk about trendy? I don't know when we were talking about trendy.
Are your bangs trendy? Is that the trend?
I don't know. I just have bangs.
Oh, she likes. I like your bangs. Is that from Napoleon Dynamite? Confused. I like your bangs.
I have never seen Napoleon Dynamite, so I'm not sure.
Chat, we need.
We're gonna need a. We're gonna need a movie night to watch Napoleon Dynamite. Is that what that reaction was?
Yeah, that was. I think my wife saw it too, but I don't know. Someone else said they never saw Napoleon Dynamite. I'm like, holy crap! It's not the best, but you got to watch it to understand. There's some things that came out of Napoleon Dynamite that like set the foundation for memes and jokes in the years to come. Was that the one with the llama? Yeah,
Eat your dinner, Tina?
Llama, vote for Pedro.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I know Napoleon Dynamite, but I've never seen it. There's so many guys. There's so many movies. You could list hundreds of movies in chat, and I would bet you that there's so many movies where people are like, everyone has seen this movie, and I'm like, no, not everyone has seen this movie.
My name is Jeff. Is from 22 Jump Street, I believe. No, it was from 22 Jump Street. Sometimes you see that a person doesn't see the stuff, and there's no way to. Very, 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 very true too, Alexa. I think there's been times too where you guys have like pointed crap out to me, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't see it. Thank you. So I think, but Alexa, I think you can't do that like fresh off the boat. You know what I mean? You got to establish that rapport and feel that. You know what I mean? Like I feel more comfortable going in midnight rushes and be like, yo, midnight rush. I don't know if you noticed, but there's that, versus then like come fresh out the boat and be like, he doesn't know me. Like, who's this guy coming in like tell me this and that,
Oh yeah, I'll be in Rush's chat and be like, hey, are you gonna fix that? Come on, I know you see it. Are you gonna fix it? Just kind of like, there's a difference between like friendly harassing and banter versus like someone genuinely trying to backseat edit something.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Let me scroll up. I don't want to miss anyone's comments because there's a lot of good stuff in here. Kyle said, ask for criticism. I do think it's healthy, but a lot of people ain't got the guts. Man, there's this quote I've been trying to get out into our conversation, but I might butcher it, but it's easier for the critic to sit in the stands versus standing in the arena with, and you know what I mean? And that's so freaking true. You know what I mean? And honestly, like video editing, photo editing on Twitch on a platform like this, I mean, you're opening yourself up to this kind of crap. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's on you, and you got to be a streamer who can get over it and move forward and stream tomorrow and keep going.
And just time them out and tell them to
go kick rocks. Hey, Jinx! Yes. I didn't know that was in your repertoire, but a lot of people don't know that.
Kick rocks for sure. Tell them to go kick rocks.
Stand in the. I would rather be in the arena and freaking, than sit in the stands, man. Sitting in the stands definitely got me nowhere, And
sorry, I was laughing because True Vision just asked me if I streamed. I used to stream. I haven't streamed much anymore at all because I don't have much to stream. Come here. Hey, do you want up? Hold on. We're going to have a third guest.
She does play Sea of Thieves. Look at the doggy. This is the original Dogecoin profile picture. Dog.
Hi, buddy.
He's shy. Listen, he's camera shy. Look at him.
He asked to be up here. You asked to be up here. Now you're going to be all shy and sad? Oh, yeah. Can you see all the fur?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, holy crap, but jeez. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah. I'm like, bro. Dude, your poor shirt. Oh, my gosh.
I lint rolled before I came on.
Oh, my gosh. Allimo.
And now I need to lint roll again.
Oh, man.
There's a pile of fur on my floor now. This is... Get a Shiba Inu, they said. Get a Shiba Inu. It's fun, they said. It's fun.
I want you guys to show some mad love to the Allimo. Allimo, is there anything else you want to say to these fine people in chat?
Thanks for letting me be weird and not banning me in your chat. And thanks everyone else for dealing with it.
Yes.
full screen. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Oh no! Oh! Woo!
Woo! There you go.
Nice.
Cringy, super cringy mega dab. Hope you guys appreciated it.
That's gonna be a new
As much
alert.
as
I'm gonna put that in After Effects.
Oh, I hit the mic. I'm sorry.
Oi! Don't knock yourself out.
Oh yeah. Don't die, eat pant. No. You guys are awesome. I love being in the Light 10 Academy community. As you can clearly tell by my TLDA 1-year shirt that is now covered in dog hair.
Let's freaking go.
You guys are awesome. And you're awesome, Aaron.
Emmy underscore who
Dang
just
it.
subscribed.
You're awesome.
A queen.
And Emmy, ooh, woo! 2
Thank
months.
you so much. Emmy Ooh. Thank you so much for the 2 months. Welcome to the stream. She says you're a queen.
Oh, no, you.
For a quick second, I thought that was Emily Rose, and I was like, did she change her name? But no, it's just Emmy
family,
Ooh.
not a community.
We appreciate
right.
Emmy Ooh as well.
But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for being weird with me, and thanks for being weird with us.
Everyone chat, say goodbye to the Allimo show again. Lots of love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. No need for applause. You can hold your applause. Bye, thank you.
I just shut the call off on her. I'm sorry, Allimo. I just shut it off on you.